Hey everyone, it's David with davidspassage.com coming to you with another wild edible plant video. This time I'm coming to you with a mushroom video. Now, just as a disclaimer, I really need to say this. Never eat any wild edible plant unless you've consulted a local expert on it, especially when it comes to mushrooms. If you are not willing to stake your life on whatever food pleasure you're going to get out of that, you need to go elsewhere, because mushrooms especially can kill you. If you pick the wrong mushroom, it can make you really sick. Please, don't take my word for it on any wild edible plant. Don't take any YouTuber's advice on any wild edible plant. Research yourself, read, talk to local experts, and before you do anything. But I wanted to show you one of my favorites, and hopefully this little video will spur you on to do your own research. And the one I'm going to show you today is puffball mushroom, and I'll put the Latin term right there for you guys that I don't know how to pronounce Latin, but I'm going to show you this mushroom. It's a puffball mushroom, and it's late September here, and these grow in my backyard, and they are amazing. I'll get a couple of these in the last 6 months, but here's an example of one that has kind of come and gone. And this one is probably, that's my knife, my hand. This one's probably the size of a small beach ball by now. And I let this one come and go because, there was only one. Whenever you do wild edible plants, you never want to take anything if there's only one of it, because then that's it. You don't have any more. So, but just to give you some characteristics of this, just to give you, they grow to be really big in size. This one's already gone. You can't eat it, but you can kind of see a little bit of the texture. Once it gets to be this nasty color inside, you don't want it. But here is a good example of one that is ready to eat. Now here's how you identify it. First of all, you're going to notice it's got kind of an egg white, it's got kind of like an eggshell color on the outside. It's very smooth in color. The shell on the outside is not going to have any spots. It's going to be very smooth. It's going to have a little bit of the texture, but smooth in terms of its color. It's not going to have any patterns or anything like that. The bottoms come off really, really easy. But you'll notice there's not much of a stem on here either. That's another way to identify them. There is no stem. There's no, gills or anything to speak of underneath. It's going to be one sort of solid piece, almost like a basketball. A couple other things you need to know to tell how, if this is really puffball mushroom, is to cut into it. When you cut into it, it's going to have a little bit of a skin on it, but when you cut into it, you're going to notice the insides. I'm just going to tear a little piece off here. The inside flesh is pure white. Now, here's another thing you need to know about. To eat these, you want your flesh to be all white throughout. You saw the first one I showed you had some yellowing in it. Actually had a lot of yellowing. Once it starts to do that, that means the mushroom is really beyond its usability. You're gonna also notice it's got this kind of skin texture to it. Just a very thin layer of skin on the outside. It's a very fluffy texture, almost like a marshmallow. It feels like a marshmallow, but it kind of comes apart. And actually, it kind of has the texture of cold scrambled eggs. And there's several ways you can prepare this mushroom for eating. My personal favorite is I slice it into thin, probably 1/4 inch, half-inch slices. And what I'll do with a mushroom like this, obviously it's so big I can't, even this size, they grow so fast. It's so big that I can't eat it in one sitting. But what I'll do is I'll cut the whole thing up, saute it in butter or olive oil, really thin, and then I'll freeze it. I'll put it in little freezer bags and freeze it, and just break off pieces and add them to sautés, add them to eggs. And it's actually, a lot of people, they call it a breakfast mushroom, because once you cook it, it really takes on the texture of scrambled eggs, but it's got kind of a mushroomy taste. It's just wonderful to add to scrambled eggs. And I like to add it to scrambled eggs. I like to add it to sautés. You could even add it to sandwiches once you saute it. It's just wonderful. And I'm sure there's other recipes online you can look up for this. But, one of these mushrooms will last me quite a long time. Again, there's no really definitive patterns on this thing. The flesh is really white and clean on the inside. When you slice into it, it's going to be clean all the way throughout. You know, you got to make sure that's clean. Don't eat it if it's anything else otherwise, because that means it's starting to go bad. So, puff mushroom. Encourage you guys to go out and look for them, but before you dive into mushrooming, make sure you consult a local expert first. But again, this is just, it smells like a mushroom. It's got that real mushroomy smell to it, and I'm really looking forward to. I'm giving this to a friend, but I might take a piece off for myself before I give it to him, because that's just way too much for me to eat. I'm the only one in my family that eats mushrooms. Thank you so much for watching this video on the puffball mushroom. I encourage you to subscribe, share the video, and stick around, you know, as I get out and explore and come across things like this. I'll be shooting videos and putting them on my channel. So, otherwise, appreciate all your comments, support, likes, shares, appreciate your connections, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.